What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, talking today about Crackdown 3, because it seems like this is probably going to be the biggest Xbox game of the year, but unfortunately, it looks like it could also be a complete dumpster fire. So just recently, they finally lifted embargo where a lot of the major websites were allowed to talk about the fact that they've been playing Crackdown 3, and they were able to post 30 minutes of gameplay. So if you add it all together, we actually have a couple hours of raw footage to see what this game is going to be like. And to say it's rough is a dramatic understatement. It looks like cars don't have shadows, the characters' animations are very screwed up, and they actually promised that a big part of the city would be destructible. This has been completely removed from the final game and only put in multiplayer. This project, well, I'm worried about it. I went from being somebody who was very excited to now being extremely skeptical. As you can see, I actually own a Crackdown 1 and 2, and I love them both. Yes, okay, I'll admit that Crackdown 2 had some problems with its art, and I think that Crackdown 1, it didn't give you enough structuring at times, but they were very early, ambitious, open-world games. You could literally treat the entire city like a playground, climbing stuff, jumping off the highest buildings, being a goofball, getting a bunch of agility orbs and making it where your car could go 80 million miles an hour. That is the point of Crackdown. This newest game though, oh man, it just seems so badly to miss the point. It seems to have forgotten the fun. So let's just take a glance at some random gameplay here because, I mean, you really kind of need to digest it. Once again, we're back in the same city we've been playing in, but the big difference here is it looks like they're trying to basically really unlock the full potential of the Xbox. They say that a lot, to make it seem like this is supposed to be a giant step forward in evolution, to be something where every part of every mission is sort of a choose-your-own adventure. How do you want to solve that problem? My big issue with that, though, is just looking at this stuff, that very clearly is not the case. I mean, let's just kind of get this out of the way. It looks bad. Like, it looks really bad. This is coming out in less than 2 weeks. This is not an alpha version. This isn't the early version. This is the final game. This is an Xbox One game in 2019. A lot of the comments are absolutely savage, saying, man, they should have canceled this instead of Scalebound, or saying that it looks like a freaking cell phone game, and I can't fully disagree. I've even seen some people complaining about the fact that this is just so basically overhyped. This is something that if it came out in 2006 would have been a huge bombshell, but now, no freaking way. What's really kind of disappointing me the most, though, is that I've been trying to read a bunch of the early previews, the people who already have hands-on, to see what they think of it, because let's face it, there have been times where there's been something that came out that looked beautiful and was bad, or there's been times where something looked bad but played beautiful. So I want to try and read people's raw impressions of it, and it seems like, unfortunately, the gameplay is as bad as the graphics are. I've seen some people refer to the fact that in multiplayer, everything is based on a lock-on system for some awful reason, where you literally just stick to a target, fire all your bullets, and it's unavoidable. It's like the old Grand Theft Auto Online, you know, back on the PlayStation 3 days when you were playing Grand Theft Auto 4. It was a system that did not work particularly well, and that's all that exists here. But what about the destruction? I mean, this is actually what the entire original teaser trailer was about when they first revealed Crackdown 3. Well, it seems like this has been relegated to a single mode of multiplayer. But even still, I hear that it is very lackluster. It seems like some of the big issues here are the fact that all of this destruction, a lot of these gameplay matches, are being computed in the cloud instead of locally on your Xbox. So normally when you're playing something online, your console specifically will start trying to calculate your actions and tell the server, which tells the other person's console, that's also talking to the server to tell you. It's basically their way of trying to make it where everybody knows exactly where they're at, and you know where your bullets are at so you can all fall over dead. dead. Well, it seems like because these servers are trying to calculate every single scrap of these big goofy buildings falling apart like waffles that have been glued together, it seems like it's trying to cut down on the player interaction by making it where everything is lock-on only. This is such a disappointment, and it seems like a lot of the people who are playing it are just as disappointed as I am. I've seen people refer to these multiplayer modes as ripping apart cardboard. Oh my god. That is not the description you want. I want every single time I fire a rocket and to blow something up, it needs to have that visceral feeling to it. I actually did not like Red Faction Guerrilla too much, but one thing that it did really well is you could literally go up with a sledgehammer and disassemble an entire tower. Brick by brick, you could smash apart the rebar inside of a wall and watch it crumble apart. And it made it where if you crashed a car into a building, you could see individual ribbons of glass popping out of the frame. It was such a nice, raw, gritty feeling to it that as you played that game, you really felt like you were destroying Mars. That is awesome. And I feel like that is what they needed in Crackdown 3. You were acting like destruction and tearing the city apart was going to be the appeal, and you removed it. I mean, a lot of people in the comment sections are talking about the fact that they should have canceled this, and I think part of it is the fact that it seems like they had to cut so much content just to get it out at all. I'm still just so blown away by this. But perhaps the most baffling thing is right now the developers are actually talking to a lot of gaming websites and just basically doing really off-the-cuff interviews to try and, well, obviously get people excited. And some of the things these people are saying are blowing my brains out. Like, one person literally said, a developer of Crackdown 3 actually said the words, "We were really excited when Breath of the Wild came out because we knew that we could make a game like that Crackdown 3 would be basically our Zelda. It would be a big open game where you could do everything." Oh my gosh! I mean, oh my gosh! Do you really want to try and compare Crackdown 3 to Zelda Breath of the Wild? I mean, whoa, bro. I hate to tell you about how to do your job, but tap the freaking brakes. This ain't that, Chief. Holy heck. Oh my gosh. I guess what really kind of comes down to it is I'm probably not going to review Crackdown 3, just because, honestly, the entire month of February is so packed with big games to play. I mean, I'm really excited for freaking Far Cry New Dawn. I'm really excited for all sorts of stuff. Anthem. I mean, despite Anthem's problems, I want to go into that and review it with an open mind. The Division beta is about to start. I mean, am I really going to sit down and spend 30 hours on this game, which looks like just a downgraded version of Crackdown 1? Genuinely, the way I have Crackdown 1 in my brain, or even when I played it on Xbox One, the graphics on it seem like they were better than this. It seems like it is a giant sequel downgrade, and one that I don't really want to participate in. Already there are a bunch of Xbox people who are trying to defend this, being like, you know what? It's just one of those games you gotta play, guys. Like, you just gotta play it. Just buy it, just play it, just play it. Well, no, I'm not going to. Like, trailers and previews are supposed to sell me on something. They're supposed to basically paint the picture of what's good and what's bad about a project. And now that I've seen this, it seems like possibly everything is bad about this project. As somebody who is a huge fan of Terry Crews, I might just download this on Game Pass and play a couple hours to get his good jokes. And I'm okay with that. But to try and actually force myself to beat it so I can review it, I don't know if I'm going to. I might still do it, but right now, if I end up not making a video on it, just realize it's not because I absolutely despise the game, it's that I might have just gotten bored as soon as I played it. But what did you guys think? Did you get a chance to actually watch a bunch of this different gameplay? And are you as worried as I am? Are you an Xbox owner, or are you going to be trying to get this on the PC, the Play Anywhere system? Just because at this point, owning an Xbox isn't super mandatory. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. So, by the way, I'm about to leave town on February 13th. So, there's going to be a gap. I'm going to be out of town from February 13th to February 17th. But I'm going to keep saying that at the end of the next couple of videos so people understand that if there's like a gap next week, I'm not being lazy. I'm actually going to be traveling up to Washington for a convention called Katsucon. Okay, I love you guys. Keep dreaming! Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.